Hi, welcome to my channel. It's a beautiful day. Today I've just decided to discuss a topic very important. It's called how to manage family finances. Today things are getting difficult in the world, so to live a happy and peaceful life with financial freedom, it's very important to manage family finances properly. Failing to manage our spending and agreeing on financial decisions can cause married couple to fall into endless arguments. To get through this financial decision, we have to coordinate our budget and financial planning while the whole family keeps an open dialogue going and about the family's money. These are very essential things. So the first thing to do actually is coordinating family finances. Coordinating family finances simply means, talking openly, discussing financial issues. While this is very important all the way, it is also important to establish financial honesty before you get married. If one partner has a poor credit history and large debt that are not brought up before marriage, it can lead to resentment and problems down the way. So before getting married, you should meet with your loved one and discuss their current financial situation, including how much he or she makes, where the money goes, his credit history, any large debt he's carrying. This set the tone for financial openness in the rest of your lives together. Today people overlook such subjects, and that's why you have people feeling bad, a few months, a few years into marriage to discover that their partner actually had a very terrible financial history, and then feel like, okay, now they are shouldering more financial burden, because the other party was not open. So the next thing would be regularly discuss about money. A lot of couples, a lot of people, especially those in courtship relationship, find it difficult discussing issues with money. It's wiser to decide on time, of the month to get together. One time of the month, get together and specifically to discuss your financial situation. Perhaps this meeting can coincide with the arrival of monthly payments, or rather on the due date that the bills are due. Both couples should or find a way of discussing how to then assess their previous monthly expenditures, mark their progress, towards long-term goals, and propose any changes or major purchases that they want to make. It shouldn't be one-sided. Only by talking about money regularly can you make comfortable living experience. If one party is a spendthrift and the other is managing and has a good understanding about the coordinating their financial or their finances, then it will be to the detriment of the other. So these are very important topics that people should be open about, especially in relationship. The third thing to do would be don't make one person the sole manager of the family money. Many families choose to allow one person to take charge of the family finances. However, this places an unnecessary burden on that person and leads to other being unaware of the family current financial situation. In addition, in my opinion, I think that if that person leaves through death or divorce, it leaves the other completely unaware of how to manage or even assess the family finances. So it's good to solve this problem by splitting up tasks between you, or by managing finances in all alternating months. Both partners, should attend any meetings with financial professionals, such as those with loan officers or investment advisors. When the both parties have equal responsibility to their financial situation, it helps both of them have in-depth knowledge of what their financial situation is. Imagine if a partner passes on and the other partner doesn't even have the basic knowledge or understanding history of what their financial situation is, then it becomes a big problem for this partner to assess, what their financial situation is. Or they don't even have in-depth knowledge of how the partner who has passed on, had managed, their financial situation. So it's really important that both parties should have equal responsibility, equal access to managing the family financial situation. Number four, it's good to decide on an account setup. I personally, I would advise families to have options when it comes to setting up joint accounts. Some choose to keep everything together while others keep their finances mostly separate. At minimum, you should have a joint account to pay for household expenses and your mortgage payment. At the end of the month, you can split these expenses in half and each transfer in an equal amount of money into this account to pay these expenses. Having separate accounts can prevent arguments that might arise from one person's spending habit. Just make sure to set limits to how much money each of you can spend each month so that one person doesn't end up spending all the family money. In many families, you have one party who is a spendthrift. Most cases, you find the other party feeling abused, feeling neglected, feeling like the other party is putting their financial burdens up on them, just to their own detriment. So the party who is a spendthrift actually brings in a lot of liability because when you now overspend, especially above the budget for the family, then it becomes a financial burden to the family at large. So it becomes a detriment to the party who is coordinated financially. These things are very, very important in every relationship. As much as you avoid to talk about them, they will always come up later on. Also build up individual credit. Even though your finances will be combined, it is still important for each of you to have a strong credit score. Doing so will ensure not only that your credit will be good when you apply for credit jointly, but also that your credit history will remain intact, if you split up. A simple way to manage this is by having separate credit cards, each established only in the name of the spouse who uses it. When both parties work towards building a very good credit score, it's beautiful, it's a good thing. I usually will tell people to take separate credit cards, and then work towards building and ensuring that their credits become good, individually, aside from the jointly credit card or whatever. So there's a lot to do, really. So the next thing would be using a budget. If you don't have a budget, then you'll obviously you're gonna overspend above your income. People who don't work on budget end up being wasteful and they are not coordinated. Choose a budget format. Before you create a budget, I think that you will have to decide how to keep that budget. While many people can get away with just using an estimate, but I think that keeping a budget format is being very, very realistic. You get me? There are a number of free software platforms available online that you can use to establish and track a budget. For example, programs like mint.com, and there's another one, Manila, offer free budgeting services. Then if you want full service financial software, you can try Quicken or Microsoft Money. Those are good budgeting. They have good budgeting format that can help you have a good spreadsheet, financial software that would really help in the budgeting format. You get me? Then another thing is assess your current spending habits. This is very, very important, and that's one mistake a lot of people do. If you know you have spending habits, then it will be very, very difficult if you don't work on it. By the time you are getting into a relationship, assess your current spending habit for a month. Write down a note. Every time you spend money. Yeah, I think that's a very good thing to do. Even for every small amount, record the amount spent and what it was used or spent on. At the end of the month, sit down with your spouse and total up both your spending, add the major expenditure to get a clear picture of where the family's money went that month, Splitting up expenses by category: home, car, food, etc. If you can, then compare that amount to your combined after-tax income. This is your starting point for determining a budget, It may also be helpful to work with your bank statement to make sure you didn't miss any recurring payments or online purchases when totaling your expenses. These are very, very important. The next thing to do is come together to create a budget. Look at your compared spending habits. Do you have a surplus? Are you spending more than you make? Work from here to identify areas where you can cut down if needed. If at all possible, try to free up money that can be put into savings or into retirement fund. I would always advise people to create spending limits on certain categories like food, entertainment, and try to stick to them over time. For me, I would say that remember to always leave room in your monthly budget for unexpected expenses like small medical bills or car repair, things like that. You never know, they can happen at any time. You could have, friends come around and, have to entertain them and things like that. Another thing that you should be careful about is work to improve and change your budget as needed. Both couples should return to your budget regularly to eliminate unnecessary spending or to adjust your budgeted amount as needed. For example, having a child may cause you to have to completely restructure your budget. In any case, constantly seek out areas where you can cut back and save more. You'll find that you can be just as happy while spending much less than you do now. Yes, I used to be a spendthrift, and when I worked on my habit to cut down expenses, I realized I became more happier than when I was spending more. I always tell people, I said, cut down your expenditures and look for more streams of income, because there's no way you're going to be successful in life if every time you're spending and you're not working on your spending habits. If your expenditures are increasing and yet you're not working on creating more avenues, more streams of income, more passive income opportunities, then you certainly would get into debt. You get into a position where you have financial instability in your life. So it's really important that you start working and building yourself and working on this habit of your financial habits and how your mindset towards money and all that. Those are very, very important. The next would be, decide on a long-term goal together. Both couples, both of you have to come together and have an open conversation about your saving goals, including savings for a house or for retirement or for other large purchases like a car or both. If you want to buy a yacht or something, make sure that both of you agree on the purchase and expenses, in questions rather. Make sure both parties agree, have equal understanding of this long-term expenses or long-term plan, on your savings, including saving for a house or for things for pleasure or holiday and the rest of them. These are part of the things that are very, very important, on how to manage your finances. Managing your financial finances is very, very important. It's something that you have to be serious about. It's something you have to learn now. It's something that you have to teach your children. It's something both of you, if you're in a relationship, have to discuss. Most marriages had that problem. Most people who ended up divorcing, one of the major problems because they didn't know how to manage their family finances. And that's why this video, I've made this to encourage people. I'm trying to tell you to work on how you can manage your finances, how you as a couple can manage your family finances. These are things that are very important. If you don't work on it, then you'll have to pay dearly for it in the future, you know. I wish you good luck, you know. Click subscribe and check out every link we have in our descriptions, you know. Share this video, like, and watch other videos, you know. God bless you.